All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna get it cracking, and we're on today's topic. I am Ken Canion. I'm your host of this new show that I've been doing for 2 weeks, and it's been growing and growing and growing. It's called Love, Lust, and Lies, y'all. And I do appreciate y'all tuning in. For those of you who don't know, I do this show every day at 1 o'clock. And this show is geared to help women navigate the complexities of relationships. Now, my wife, y'all know, my wife and I, some of you know, some of you don't know, that we are the Grand Canyons, and I'm one half of the Grand Canyons. But I do this show, this part alone, because I have so many clients that I coach that are ladies. And many of them come with different types of issues that I can actually help them solve. I often tell my clients I can help you solve 97.8% of your problems. The question is will you accept it when I give it to you? That being the case, if you don't accept it, I can't do anything about that part. Now, so today's topic is, as always, I always get correspondence. I get letters, I get DMs, emails for all kinds of stuff of solving people's problems. One particularly, I always have to report my good stuff, because there was this young lady who had a lot of trauma in her childhood. And recently I've helped her overcome a lot of that trauma, and now she is in a great relationship. Now, the truth is, everybody has got to be willing to change. You got to be willing to be in a place to want something different. So today, what today's topic is, today's topic of love, lust, and lies is turning a casual relationship into a commitment. A lot of us get into casual relationships and we want to turn them into a commitment, but we don't realize, number one, how we got there, and number two, how do we turn it into a committed relationship? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you guys the letter that I got, and this will kind of go over, tell you what it is. It said like this. Here's the letter. The letter said, "Dear Ken, I met a charming guy at a party a couple of months ago. We kicked it a couple of days and we had casual sex. I figured I'm a grown woman, so what the hell? He called about a week later around 10 p.m. one night, and he wanted to hook up. He wanted to come by. I said, come through. We had already done it. Then we did round 3, round 4, and round 5. And then one morning I woke up and said to myself, I think I'm in love. Now, I no longer want a casual relationship. I want a committed one. Ken, what should I do? What should I do?" So I said, I want to do, the topic of a show today is called turning a casual relationship into a committed one. Is it even possible? And so let me give y'all know what I always do. I always give you the real deal. I always give it to you 100, and I'm going to tell you, and I break down not only what's going to happen. I'm not only going to tell you why something happens. I'm going to tell you how to do something, but I'm going to tell you why it happened. I'm going to tell you why to do it. Okay. So the first thing I want you to understand is this: is anytime, number one, what's happening to you right now is the female is trying to renegotiate the contract. She's trying to renegotiate the relationship contract. Because see, what happens is we have a contract in order. Y'all don't see it like this, but I'm telling you what's going on behind the scenes. Now, with this contract, what I'm doing is I'm providing you a service for a service based on my contract. So you're telling the guy, I want to renegotiate the contract. So I want you to understand what's going on here. So he didn't have to work to get the booty. Okay, he been getting it for free, so he didn't have to put out. The only thing it cost him was gas just getting over there. So now what you're saying is, I want to renegotiate this contract. Now I want you to think about that for a minute. And you think about that, and I'm just thinking about, I want you to understand what's going on in his mind. So I want you to say, if you on your job and your job said, okay, I'm going to pay you the same thing, but I want you to do double the work. what would you say? Well, that wasn't what our agreement was. That's not what our agreement is. So our agreement is based on what the agreement is based on what our actions have been. Now you're telling me you want to change the agreement. All right. In essence, you do. And if you're the female, from your perspective, you're like, yeah, I want to change the agreement because I feel differently than I do when we first hooked up. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do. I'm going to break it down to y'all so that you won't get in this situation. So if you come to him and you want to renegotiate the contract and you're saying to him, you know what? I want to renegotiate this contract. I want to be seen differently. So if you want to be seen differently, now you got to act differently. Okay. And this is where a lot of females mess up, but I'm going to give you the Ken Canion formula going from casual to commitment. All right, y'all ready for it? Y'all ready? If you're ready for it, give me a like or two. Because y'all, I'm over here. I don't get no feedback. Only feedback I get is I get high off myself. I love this. I love this. All right, here we go. Here we go. I appreciate y'all rocking with me for the last 2 weeks, but we're growing every single day. Number one, the Ken Canion casual to commitment number one. Number one is be prepared to walk away. In any relationship, most people, most ladies have insecurities, so they are afraid to walk away. So here's the thing. You think if I walk away, if I keep giving it to him, I'm giving him something of value. He will see how valuable I am based on the sex that I'm giving him. And the truth of the matter is, a man never bases your value on the sex you're giving him. The sex is nothing but like whipped cream on pancakes or whipped cream on ice cream. That's all it is. We want the whipped cream, okay? But here's the thing. What happens is until you decide, be prepared to walk away, a man, listen to me closely, if a man doesn't fear losing you, see, this is where a lot of women mess up. The reason why a man ain't gonna change is because men don't hear what you say. We only hear what you do. If he doesn't ever fear losing you, ain't shit gonna change. Period. Period. If he doesn't ever fear losing you, so you have to be prepared to walk away. And I told this story, I think earlier this week or last week. I told you my dad told me something so profound that I carry with me today. He said, son, we used it in business, but it applies in relationship. He said, son, number one, be prepared to walk away from anyone or anything. Because if you're not prepared to walk away from that thing or that person, they will always control you. Now think about this for a minute. How many relationships have you stayed in? You weren't prepared to walk away, or you know somebody that stayed in a relationship, and next thing you know, they're getting dogged time after time after time because they weren't prepared to walk away. And I don't know if it's a job, I don't know if it's a personal relationship, but if you're not prepared to walk away, that thing will control you. That's number one. Number two, if you want to go from casual to commitment, number two is you have to remove sex from the equation. Now, let me tell you why. All right, y'all, we all like sex. Men love sex. We love sex, and I know women do too nowadays. I get it, but men and women view sex differently, okay? We view sex differently, and if a person tells you they're not, because I know women who say things like this, I'm going to act like a man. I'm going to go out there and act like a man. I'm going to act like a damn man, and you a damn fool. You know why? Because you ain't built that way, and what happens is, it's because a man can have sex physically, and then he can go love another woman. If you keep giving, women keep giving their body for something, they open themselves up. And now what they open themselves up to is more than just the sex. They open themselves up to the hormones that are released when you have the sex. And so now all of the stuff that happens is you think I'm gonna act like a man, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And what happens is you end up looking like a damn fool. Okay? So what you gotta do is number one. Number two, alleviate the sex. Let me tell you why though. Let me tell you why. And I'm not saying forever. Here's what sex does, and I wrote this down. Y'all know I prepare for my show. Y'all know I prepare for my show. I say, listen, what sex does is when a man does not have, when you remove sex, the lack of sex exposes how the man truly feels. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you this. Lack of sex exposes how the man truly feels. Why? Because we as men, we will lie to get sex. We'll do anything. We'll drive 90 miles to bust for 10 minutes. We might just, y'all done seen it, I've done it. I done did it. Men out there done did it. Any men on this line done did it. We will do it. We will lie. We will do whatever. And then when the sex is over, then we want to get up. We don't want to have nothing to do with you. And then y'all, it's just the truth. It's just the truth, whether you believe it or not. So take the sex out of the equation. So let me tell you what else happens. If you take the sex out of the equation, then it will expose his true feelings, because a man is not going to stay around, hang around, be with you without the sex if he does not care about you. You know why? Because he says, okay, well, you ain't gonna give it to me, then I'm gonna go get it somewhere else. Then that's how you know that was his true motivation from the beginning. Okay, that was his true motivation. So when you take the sex out of it, then you see what's going. Because what will happen is, if a man wants to be with you, if a man desires you, okay, say a man, you take the sex out. I didn't say he wouldn't want sex, because we're gonna still want it, but I'm willing to forego it to be with you because I value you more than just the sex. Now, I've been with women before. I just wanted to pop it. I just wanted to hit it, split it. And if she left, I didn't care. But the truth of the matter is, now you know how he feels about you. He knows how, you know how he values you. Because if he ain't willing to, to value you beyond that. And so a lot of women get it so twisted, y'all. What they think is because they're equating sex, a man's sex, with intimacy. And intimacy and sex are totally different. See, women give sex to get intimacy. Men give intimacy if they have to get sex. They're two different things. And if you're not willing to forego it, because the thing is, then you got to start seeing if the man is willing to do something with you that doesn't require sex. So you say, okay, let's go to the park. Okay, let's go to the amusement park. Let's have fun together. Because what he does is, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. A man trades his time for the thing that he values. Okay? A man trades his time for the things that he values. If he ain't trading his time for you, he does not value you. And so outside of sex, see, he's willing to trade his time for sex because he values sex. Okay? But if he ain't willing to trade his time for you, he does not value you. Any man that values something, he trades his time for. If he values his car, he gonna wash it all the time. Y'all know that. If he values his homeboys, he hanging out with his homeboys. He values going to the cigar bar, I'm going to the cigar bar. He trades his time for them, okay? But if he ain't trading his time for you, then he does not value you. And so y'all, stop this. Stop confusing, stop conflating sex with value. They are not synonymous. They're not, okay? The third thing, now this is very important right here. The third thing, going from casual to committed. Number three, because he's seeing you in a sexual nature. Okay, we love sex, and it's good. You want to even be with a freak. I get it, but you don't want to freak with everybody else. But here's the thing. When I say remove the sex, here's what happens. And I'm gonna get a little technical. This is the part I kind of like. What happens is the brain. Let me tell you what the brain does. Because if all we've ever done is have sex, my brain sees you in a certain way. Do you know the brain is stimulated? So what the brain does is it creates pictures. Let me give y'all. I do this in my seminars. I tell you, the brain doesn't operate in words. The brain operates in pictures. So if I were to tell you to close your eyes, and I would say, don't think about your kitchen. Don't think about your kitchen cabinetry. Don't think about the colors in your kitchen. If I were to tell you that, close your eyes, what would you be thinking about? Your kitchen. Guess why? Because the brain operates in pictures. This is technical. So what happens is, the more the brain sees something, the more it creates a picture of that what it's seen. Then, once it creates a picture, let's say you work, this is how you operate every single day. Once it creates a picture, it attaches emotion to that picture. Now get that. So when I see a picture of you, us having sex with you, I attach emotion. But the emotion that I attach is full of lust. It's lust. I'm telling you, so to watch. So now I have to recreate the picture if you want me to establish a new emotion to attach to it. Does that make sense? Okay, so what happens? So now you take away the sex. Now all of a sudden you got to, part three, you got to reintroduce yourself. My name is Ho. H to the O, B. You got to reintroduce yourself. You got to redefine yourself. Because if you don't redefine yourself, he's going to have that picture that he had before, and thus I'm going to attach those emotions to it. So what I say to people, redefine yourself. Start doing, show him other sides of you. If there's an intellectual side of you, show him that. If you want to go to the museum, show him that. If there's a goofy side to you, act goofy. Let him see another side of you. Take the sex out so that I don't see that picture. And I'm not saying forever. I'm just simply saying so that you can see what's what. You follow me? Because the truth of the matter is a man trades his time for the thing that he values. And if he just want to be with you based on the sex, what's going to happen is simply this, is that sex, that's going to lose its value. I ain't going to hang around because it's more fish in the sea. If I'm just trying to hit it, split it, quit it, I can go do that out there. But if you're trying to make me work for it, here's the thing. What y'all don't get about a man is this. A man values the thing that he has to work for. And many ladies ain't making the fool work for. Because you're valuable. If I got to go out and buy a car, if I'm buying a $5,000 car, right? Don't I have to work for the car to get it? And then when I get it, I clean it up because I value it. I vacuum it because I value it. I keep it maintenance done on it because I value it. And the thing about it is, if he not valuing you, maintenance for you, if he not doing the things that are necessary to value you, he don't value you. So what you got to do is see if he values you is reintroduce yourself. What you got to do is redefine yourself. Let him see you doing other things. Let him say, come with me to the library. I got to do research on this. Okay? Hey, I need you to come with me this way. I want to give to the homeless. I'm giving to the homeless, and we're going to feed the homeless. I want you to roll with me. Okay, let him see another side of you, because a man, what he does is once he begins to see this, his brain takes a picture of it. Remember, y'all, this is called neuro-associative conditioning. I don't want to bring all that big word stuff and stuff shit I study in, but what I am saying is what it is the brain operates in pictures. It takes a picture. It gets conditioned to the new picture, but you have to do it long enough. You have to do it long enough so the picture is created. Oh my! I'm gonna take up an offer for myself. Whoo, y'all. Quarantine make you do some crazy stuff, don't it? All right, y'all. But real talk. Redefine yourself. Reintroduce yourself. Be willing to do something different. And y'all, we did what the other day I did one on insecurities, y'all. I said, be secure in your insecurities. And the reason I said be secure in your insecurities is because let the fool walk away. Let him walk away, because he ain't the one for you anyway. And what y'all want to do is hold on to something because you get it, because you're so enamored with this emotion that I'm feeling. I haven't felt this in a long time. But what happens, the emotion means nothing if it ends in heartbreak. It means nothing. Because you're excited and you're exhilarated, and then you have all this oxytocin that's released in your brain, and then 3 months later you feel like crap. And what you do is you project. Projecting is simply this. Because he discarded you after you didn't do what I told your ass to do, then you feel less valuable. Doesn't mean you are less valuable, but you feel less valuable. And then you begin to project that into the next relationship you have, and then the next relationship, and then the next relationship. And the reason why it keeps happening, you keep attracting it. You only get something different when you're willing to do something different. And that's the truth of the matter. You get hurt, and now you operate as my business partner in this healing nature. Milani Shani says you operate out of your pain brain. She says now you begin to make decisions out of your pain brain. And I call the opposite of that is your power brain. Your power brain is the one that empowers you to make decisions that empower you. Okay? And so if you're making decisions out of your pain brain and you keep making decisions out of your pain brain, well, and Milani talks about this, and I'm sitting and I'm like, this shit's brilliant. Because you're making decisions out of your pain brain, and what it does, it brings nothing more than pain. You attract the very same thing that you're running from. The very same thing. And the last thing I'm gonna give you is this. If you want to go from casual, this is the powerful one. Go from casual to commitment. Start dating other guys. So here's why. Even while you date this fool, even while, to get this, if you want to make a man go crazy, now watch this. This will tell you how a man really feel about you. If while he's dating you, he doesn't want to commit to you, right? What women do is you don't date anybody else because you feel like this fool won't commit to me, or that might be disrespectful if I'm dating somebody else. But what you need to do is you need to start dating other guys. Because here's why. Here's the truth of the matter is this. If a man never fears losing you, he won't ever stay with you. He ain't gonna ever change. Okay? And what you got to do is you got to be willing to date somebody else. Because and I'm not talking about sleep with them. Do not repeat the same stuff you do. Don't sleep with him. What you're doing is collecting data, letting him see another side of you so he creates another picture of you from the very beginning. Because if he sees the picture at the beginning, that's the picture that gets seared, conditioned in his mind. You, ladies, are responsible for the pictures that we create about you. It's just like, those of you know that I'm a branding coach. You know that I've been marketing my whole life, and I build brands. A brand is much like you are a brand. Everybody's a brand, a personal brand. And in your personal branding, what you're trying to do is you want to create a mental perception in the other person. A brand is three things. It's who I am, okay? It's what I do, and it's what makes me different, okay? So what you're trying to do essentially is establish your brand with him, okay? And what happens is when your brand attributes are simply things you stand for, your core values. If you give him sex and you doing all this and you just trying to please him because you thinking, you might want to do it too, but you thinking he gonna like me more because I'm pleasing him, but he never saw your brand attributes. He never saw your core values. He never saw the woman in you that loves feeding the homeless. He never saw the woman in you that is a giving woman, that is a mother that takes care of her kids. He never saw the woman that works hard, that's a grinder, that's a ride or die chick. He ain't never seen that. All he saw was your ass and them thongs. That's all he saw. And that's the picture that's in his mind. And now you want to change it. Don't start with it. That's it. There you go. I'm done. I'm done. Listen, for all you who did your homework yesterday and sent it to me, good. The homework were name 3 to 5 core values that mean something to you. Email me, text me those things. I'm going to help y'all change. All right? Your homework for today. All right? I want you to write down 3 to 5 things. I always say 3 to 5 things that you can do to help you turn your casual relationship, or any particular casual relationship, or a relationship that is not casual, but you wanted to turn into a committed relationship, but to your next relationship. What can you do? All right? Other than that, y'all, I am Ken Canion, and this has been Love, Lust, and Lies. I am your host, and I'm out.